Hello, cherries! Happy Father's Day, and welcome to Live Jerry Cherry Sunday, episode 81. My God, 81 times already. So, in this video, I'm going to show you 3 notes per string patterns, 1 string at a time. And have you ever seen a guitarist play scales and patterns seamlessly, just up and down the fretboard horizontally? And basically what they're doing is they're playing patterns up and down the scale. And usually 3 notes per string or pentatonic or whatever, but it's basically just patterns up and down the scale. So what I'm going to show you today is a way to do that. And it's really, really fun. And it's very helpful too to learn the fretboard that way. And you can also see all the intervals that you're playing. So before we get started, I just want to say hello to my friend here in the chat, Kelly B. Happy Sunday, happy Father's Day. Give you a round of applause. You probably heard the applause, but I didn't. There you go. I like to hear it too. Hello, Tom G. Of course, I'm going to put timestamps in the description so you can get right to the lesson. I want to say hello to Tom G. Give him a round of applause for hanging out with me on Sunday, episode 81. Gonna get some guitaring going. And happy Sunday, happy Father's Day. And for all you papas out there, have a beautiful day. You deserve it. And okay, so what are you guys drinking out there today? Did you have your morning coffee yet, or your afternoon coffee? I think I made this at like 9 o'clock this morning, so it's a little bit old, but I still have a little bit left in there. And it's still good. It's like good to the last drop. And it's in my Jerry Cherry mug, too. I mean, I'm sure it's beer o'clock somewhere. Tom, what are you drinking out there? Kelly, I know you're still caffeinated. Getting caffeinated. So, all good. Gonna stretch your fingers, which is always very important. Stretch them out. I have a whole routine of stretching my wrists and my fingers before I play, before I even touch the guitar. And I should make a video showing that sometime because it's so important that you don't get loose on your hands before you play, especially something like this where it's very tedious, scalular, technical, and puts a lot of strain on your hands, and you got to be careful. So Tom G, you played with your old band yesterday, first time in around 14 years. Wow. Was it 4 years? Exclamation 4 years, or is it 14 years? Great fun. That is so awesome. It's great to get together with people, real live people. I played last night in my disco band, and we were actually literally windblown. I had no idea it was going to be so windy right on the beach, and it was a bit chilly for June in Long Island at Malibu, and it was tough. It was like torture almost. But you got to be tough. You got to be strong, get through it. And after the first song, though, it was just like it felt great. Usually it's really, really hot. Rockin' the Rockies, hello. So good to see you. Give you a round of applause. What are you drinking on this Father's Day Sunday? I have some coffee, but I have some water as well. Just to wet my whistle, you know what I mean? But this is a really cool thing we have going today. It's something that it's very helpful, and it's a 3 note per string pattern. And a lot of people play 3 notes per string up, the whole guitar neck, which is like, which you could do anywhere, like the major scale. But E minor scale up the whole 3 notes per string. And I made videos on 3 notes per string on all 5 modes. I mean, not 5, all 5 scales and all the modes to it. But we're really not going to focus on that today. We want to just take one string at a time. Just take the high E string. And you play the E minor scale up the little E string. Oops. And then up the second half of the guitar neck. Bend it up. So, going to keep it real simple and keep it on, just one string at a time. And, of course, we could add the B string and then the G string. But it's going to be more of a horizontal pattern. And it's a lot of fun. It's basically, you could work up speed on this too. And the good thing about this is that you could play horizontally all across from the bottom of the neck. And just work your way all the way up the scale instead of going vertically like that. So it's really fun. Hopefully you enjoy this. And, so if you know the E minor scale, it's very helpful if you know this scale. It's basically the relative minor of G. So if you know the G major scale starting on G, which is, everybody knows that sound, right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It's the same notes, only you're starting on the E, the open E. So then you go G major scale, and then continue on going. So now I just want to look at these notes, these 7 notes. It's basically all it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then starts all over again. Now each note is basically a degree of the scale. And although you don't really have to know that, you just have to know the E minor scale. You just know the positions, memorize the positions. It's good to kind of visualize what each degree is doing, because it'll be helpful if you want to play that all over the neck. Because you can kind of apply, especially in 3 notes. If I just take the first 3 notes, the E, the F sharp, and the G, I know that it's a whole step and a half step. So I could, if I find an E anywhere, I could play that same thing anywhere. Here's an E, 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 here's an E. So I know I could play the first 3 notes of the E minor scale anywhere across the neck, no matter where I am, because I visualized what it's doing. So I recommend doing that with all 7 of the notes. The same thing with F sharp. Visualize F sharp, G, A. Hello, Aaron Short. Happy Father's Day. So good to see you. Aaron Short is an awesome singer, guitar player. And he goes live on Sundays at 4 o'clock. And are you still doing live? Because I've checked out the last couple of weeks. I haven't seen you at 4. So let me know. Fill me in if you've changed your times slots on there. So, and one cool thing is that you don't have to know your modes on this. But what's good about Live Today at 4, awesome. We'll be there for sure. Checking out Aaron Short's music. Does cool covers and a great voice, great sound, great tones. Always a pleasure to watch my man Aaron. So, like I was saying, it's not really important to know all the modes, but it's kind of important to know the degrees that each note has in the scale. So if you have your E minor scale, you can visually see what's going on here. Starting on the second note, you have a half step and a whole step. Starting on the third note, you have 2 whole steps. Starting on this note, the A, you have a whole step. This is kind of like the E. On the A, you have whole step, half step. Here's the A. And on the B, once again, it's kind of like where you started in the F sharp. It's half step, whole step. And then on the C, it's kind of like what you did on the G. So it's only like 3 different patterns. You have whole step, half step. Then you have half step, whole step. Then you have whole step, whole step. And actually almost repeats it again. Whole step, half step. Then you have another whole step, whole step. You're back to the octave again. Played Ventura Highway this week and thought of you and DA. Ventura Highway. That's a great song by America. Oh, that's so cool. So cool. Now, the way I look at this also is I look at it like mode patterns. Even though they're not modes, they're just mode shapes. So if the E is really, it's the natural minor scale, but it's also called an Aeolian mode. G major is the G Ionian mode, or G major. It's the first degree, right? So E minor is really the sixth degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's called the Aeolian mode. So if you kind of know your modes, you could picture what the modes positions do. Now I know that the E is the sixth degree, so it has that shape pattern. I know that F sharp would be like the Locrian, but it's not a mode because we're in E minor. Basically, I'm just starting on the F sharp in E minor. If the bass had an F sharp, then it would be a Phrygian. But I know that this scale pattern is called the Locrian pattern. G is a Ionian pattern. A is a Dorian pattern. B is a Phrygian pattern. C is a Lydian pattern. D is a Mixolydian pattern. So you don't even have to know all that, but that's the way I memorize in the key of E minor. So basically anywhere on the fretboard, if there's an E minor, I could take those 7 note degrees, match them with a mode pattern, and I know where to play. Like if you're playing E, if I played on the D, I know that I could play a D Mixolydian pattern. Even though it's not Mixolydian, it's the pattern of it, which is a flat 7, major, third. So anyway, so you get all that out of the way. And I only say that because this way you could visualize the 3 notes per string on every string that you play, not just the E. Because if we transfer that to the B string, now you're like, okay, well, now how do I play the E minor scale? Well, you can either memorize the E minor scale, which would be that's the E minor scale starting on the B string, or you could look at it like, well, here's the B note. Well, what mode position was B? Or what mode pattern? Well, I know that B was the what is it? It's the 3rd degree, which is a Phrygian pattern. So I know if I look at the B, I know it's a half step, then a whole step, just like it was up here. Half step and a whole step. B, half step, whole step. I know that the C was is always the 4th. You could also look at it as just numbers. 4th degree, Lydian. 5th degree, D, Mixolydian. 6th degree, here's the E again. So I can look at this string and I can go, okay, 3rd degree, 4th degree, 5th degree, 6th degree, 7th degree, G, the root, 1 degree, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you're understanding this, have any questions about any of this stuff. Now here's the fun part, right here. It's good to play this with like a metronome, but today we're not going to play with a metronome. I set a little rhythm track here. Sounds like this. It's like real Black Sabbath, right? On the Sunday. And I think right now that this is, I think it's 80 beats per minute. BPMs, excuse me. And I set it because it's a very comfortable tempo, and you find your own tempo, and it's something you could play. You could play a pattern, and then you could double speed it comfortably, or double it up comfortably. And I'm breaking these down into just, out of the 3 notes per string, we're going to do like a 1, 2, 3, 2. So you have 1, 2, 3. And it's like over this pattern, it would be like this. Check it out. One, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2. So basically, we're going to play 4 notes. Actually, we're going to play 2 notes in between each beat. So we're really playing eighth notes right now. So it's like. And the whole idea of this is to just be as clean as you possibly can. Because it's slow. You shouldn't have a problem with it. In Tom G, this kind of goes back to the lick lesson. All the licks that I do are based around this whole idea. That's a lick right there. And going up and down the fretboard, it's very metal. So the reason I picked this tempo is because I could double that fairly comfortably, like this. So it's like. Here's the pattern. Double. Now I'm playing 16th notes. 4 notes in between each beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So, now the whole idea is that we're going to go up 3 notes per string. Patterns up the whole E string doing that. Thank you, Tom. And what is that mustache guitar back there? Well, I've had that guitar for like 20 years right now. It needs a setup, needs strings, but it's a Mitchell. It's a Mitchell guitar, and it's a copy of an Everly Brothers Gibson guitar. And that guitar, I think brand new was like $100. I bought it used for $125. Go figure. But it sounds amazing. Like in its day, because it's a jumbo body, it just has a really rich sound. I've written like so many of my songs on that guitar. So I keep it, and it's the body kind of sunk in. You know, so one of these days I'll have it repaired. I'll bring it out. But it's cracked. The brace in the middle is a little cracked. I'm just dried out, and I mistreated it for years. I used to take it to the beach, and I used to jam it into the sand just to try to, because I thought it looked cool. You know, I'd take it, I'd wedge, you know, you do like your feet into the sand. I would jam the guitar into the sand, you know. It's pretty stupid. So definitely want to get that puppy fixed though, because that's my black guitar. I have a song called My Black Guitar that I wrote about that guitar. And so let's start off with this pattern. We'll go up the neck. Check this out. One, 2, 3, 2. Then down. And then double it if you can. All right, poor guitar. So that's why I picked this tempo, because it's comfortable for me to double it. I picked like a slow tempo 80, so I could play eighth notes and I could play 16th notes. And you know, if you're just jamming around having fun, you know, you could do stuff like you know, it's good practice. Instead of sitting with a metronome and going, okay, and building up speed and doing it, you know, very monotonous, this way you could at least play. You could play your riff slowly, then you could double it. But just find a comfortable tempo to where your double tempo is not really sloppy. Fortune! Hello! This is my man right here, Fortune. Happy Father's Day! Fortune is a great guitar player, guitar teacher, a lifelong guitar teacher, and does a great Facebook Live show where he plays every Sunday. No, Friday. It used to be Sundays. At 7 o'clock on Kelly's Music Corner. So, great to see you, Fortune. We're doing a little like 3 notes per string pattern. And I did something simple where it was 1, 2, 3. We're only counting to 3 because, you know, we want to keep it simple. We can only count to 3. I can only count to 4. So, counting to 3 is pretty easy. But as far as the 3 notes, we're going 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. We did that all the way up the neck. Right? Now we could do a different pattern. 2, 3, 2, 1. Where it would be 2, 3, 2, 1. See how the first one was 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. Now we're going to mix it up. 2, 3, 2, 1. Same thing. We're going to go right up the E minor scale. So we'll do it with our progression here. We have a and then down. Now double it. Down. So that's another pattern. Now you can see that you can really build some pretty cool leads, some cool riffs doing stuff like that. And it's a very simple idea. You're playing 3 notes per string on 1 string, switching the patterns around. I was playing 1 out of the 3 notes. How many is 3? Out of the 3 notes, you have different possibilities of going 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 1. You could even go 3, 2, 1. And let's try that. It would be 3, 2, 1. Now remember, you could do this with any scale too. It doesn't have to be just the minor scale. You could do it with harmonic minor, melodic minor. You could do it with modes. You could do it with anything. But the whole object is to kind of, you know, become clean with this. And it really, really helps with your dexterity and your just as far as being clean as well. And it's a good exercise. And it's not only just an exercise, it's actually musical too, which is cool. Let's try this thing with the 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, 4 notes. Just like this. 3, 2, 1, 2. And then down. on double speed. Down. All right. So that's fun. Hopefully you're getting this. Hopefully you're getting something out of it. And take it slow. Take it at your own pace. And before you know it, you'll be playing like over an E minor. And you'll know on one string. And you don't always have to pick every note. You could play legato as well, and just kind of, you know. But this is very good for your alternate picking as well. Especially, that's why I have the drums going, because it's kind of like a metronome. Where if I'm playing eighth notes. Put this camera on. Look at my right hand here. Alternate picking. And you can start off playing, repeating it 4 times, because it's a good practice. 2, 3, 4. Some alternate picking. Or I could do a legato if I wanted to, like this. I'm only hitting the first note. So, depends on what kind of sound you're looking for. You could do staccato or legato. Staccato would be more like a... Just a quick note, where legato is more of a... And I do recommend just keeping it wide open too. Like this. Check this out. Instead of having the notes like a... I'm not muting the notes, like... So I'm choking, I'm muting. I'm letting them ring out a little bit. You can do it both ways, but it's good to let them ring, because it's a lot harder to let them ring. There's a lot of possibilities for noise. Which brings up another point. The way I'm keeping this quiet is that I'm muting on my right hand all the strings that I'm not playing. So if I'm playing the E string, like that, my hand is actually muting all the other strings, like the E string, the A string, the D string, the G string, the B. So I'm only letting this ring. Like that, right? Which that's another pattern I can show you in a second. But if I wasn't muting all these strings, it would sound like this. Hear everything rocking out? Let the Iron Maiden begin. Actually, I don't even want to play the song because I'll get a copyright strike. It's a good thing for a pick. You could scratch yourself with them too. But I was a big Iron Maiden fan. Man, I loved them. Still do. But what was I? So it's muting all the strings is very important if you want it to sound clean. Especially if you're playing on the inside. So if you're playing the G. Right here. I was doing something like this. You hear all the rest of the strings. So what I would do on the G string is I would try to mute the low E, A, and D. You see, it's hard because now you have the high B and the E ringing out as well. So it's a balance of, I'm kind of muting all of them as I hear them ring out. So I'm muting all the strings, but I'm releasing it enough to let the G ring out. Okay, so there's another pattern. There's a 1, 3, 2, 1, which is like this: 1, 3, 2, 1. It's like this. So it's a 1, 2. We had 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2. That's a very popular riff right there. 1, 3, 2, 1 in soloing. You've heard that a million times. Like. Heard that a million times, right? Great to be here. Reminded of McCartney's Live and Let Die. Let die. McCartney's. Yeah, it's great. Fortune. Awesome. It's, I'm reminded of McCartney's Live and Let Die at 46 seconds. I have to listen back to that one. Live and Let Die. Yeah. Okay, definitely check that out. I can't really think off the top of my head what part that is, but very scalier at points right there too. So thank you, Fortune, for that. We'll check that out. Anything McCartney related is just cool to me. And Paul McCartney, 80 years old, still kicking it live on tour. I think it was his birthday yesterday. 80 years old, so happy birthday to Sir Paul McCartney. So one more of the 4 patterns, and that's the reverse of this. 3, 2, 1. 3, 1, 2, 3. You hear like a lot of shred players playing this pattern as well. Like maybe like a 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it'd be like. Down. So there's 5 patterns right there, just doing 3 notes per string. And really, really cool. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button, hammer on the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. I go live every Sunday here at 1 o'clock. You know that. And so if you have any ideas for any future lessons or anything, let me know what you'd like to know or anything I could help you with. And it's right where the tempo picks up after the slow part into the verse. Yeah, right where the tempo was. Was it the da-da-da, da-da-da, that part? And what's also cool about this is you could hear that it's musical, and it lends itself to building melodically, which is really, really cool, because if you have like musical ideas, you're in one position, you know, and you have an idea where it's like, if you do something like, you can go, or up here, you know, just one little melody. Now you know the 3 notes per string. You could do that same thing all the way down. You know, so it's good to know those scales, especially on one note up and down the string. Now take this same thing and just do it on all strings. You know, do it on the B string. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. On the G string. On the D string. Nope. On the A string. And the E string. Down. Going down. So guitar intro to Paint It Black is modal, correct? Yeah, I suppose it's modal. And because I think it's switching between two different scales. You know, to me, like modal, I guess you would mean switching between different modes. And I think it does do that at some point, where it's E, and then I think it goes to like E harmonic minor, which, you know, you could take the E minor scale right here. You could do the same thing, everything you were doing, and play an E harmonic minor, which would sound like this. More metal. Be like, yeah, right up there. You could do any scale you want up that. Minor scale, harmonic minor. So I want to show you one more quick thing before we go. And that's doing like a triplet feel instead of 4 notes. You know, you would play like this. You would go like a. Now the same thing on 1, 2, 3. You're leaving out the fourth note. You're playing just triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just like this. Up the scale. And then down will be hiddly, hiddly, hiddly. Now you can double it. Double it down. That's pretty cool, right? So now you have a different pattern. Now, doubling, I'm playing 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In between each quarter note. Instead of just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I double it, and that's very metal sounding. Right, Rockin' the Rockies? Very metal. Now you could switch the same thing. Instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you could do 2, 1. The same thing, you could do 2, 3, 2. And it's like this. 2, 3. 2, 3, 2. Yeah, like this. Let's see how that sounds. You have to. You double that. It's kind of like a. Now the one that I like the best, I think, is the next one, 3, 2, 1. It's kind of like this. If you double that, it's like a. And going down. You can tell I'm playing sloppy, but it's I need work. And there's 2 more. There's a 1, 3, 2. Just like this. 1, 3, 2. That's it. Try that again. I can't remember what that one is. For some reason. It is. 1, 3, 2. There it is. And Yngwie Malmsteen does this one a lot. This last one, 3, 1, 2. Like a 3, 1, 2. It's like. You can play legato too. Like. then down. That's sloppy, I'll take it. Well, that's what we're here for. We're working on it. And that's why I'm saying, like, I purposely put it on this tempo, this slow tempo, so that I could play it at half speed, and then double speed would be somewhat comfortable. But just, find a good tempo that works for you and just kind of build up to it, or set it and just kind of play halftime and full time, which is what I'm doing right here. All right, so we went a little bit long today, but we'll wrap it up right here. And I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me on Sunday, and hopefully this helps in some kind of way. There's all kinds of riffs you could build up inside there. As you can see, I'm just having a lot of fun doing this. And I did it on one string. I recommend playing it on all strings, because actually the original idea for this was to do 2 strings at a time. And then I thought, because there's riffs on 2 strings that you could do that are really cool, and I thought, well, let's just do 1 string first. But the original idea was going to be like 2 strings that was like if you get this whole idea at 1 string. you know, 2 strings at a time, which is cool. And on the B string, yeah, the same thing. It'll be like a... and so on. So I wanted to do 2 strings at a time, but just do 1 string at a time is a lot easier. And then you could just incorporate 2 when you're playing solos. You could just do like, come up with all kinds of crazy riffs up and down the neck. So, negative numbers. That is funny. Well, you know, start at -20, then work your way up to 0. I wonder how that would sound, like minus on the metronome. It would be like, would pull you back into a black hole or something. All right. So, all right. Thank you guys. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, let me know in the comment section or right here and in the chat. And so I'd love to know, like, if you have any ideas for next week, next Sunday. And love to help you out in any way I can. So if you haven't yet, sign up to my mailing list, jerrycherry.com. I have some really cool news coming out really soon, and love for you to be the first to know. And thanks for hanging out with me on Sunday, every Sunday here at 1 o'clock. I also go live on Thursdays on Facebook, where I play original songs and some fun covers. And my friend Kelly here does a live on Facebook too, every Tuesday and Thursday on Facebook at Kelly's Music Corner. So check her out. She tells some stories, bedtime stories and lullabies, and then play some songs. It's really, really cool. And Fortune does a live too every Friday at 7 o'clock, where he plays live and plays great classic covers. It's really, really good time. So check him out too, Fortune. Really, really good times. So thank you very much. And I'll put a link in the description for the last video I did, which was 5 steps to becoming a better blues guitar player. So check that video out as well. Thank you very much for hanging out. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy this beautiful day. And I will see you next time. So remember, be cool, be kind, and be cherry. Thank you so much, Fortune and Tom, Rockin' the Rockies, Kelly. All you guys are awesome. Love yous. I'll see you next time. Ciao, y'all.